like to start off today with a story that happened to me in 2009, actually in Boise, Idaho, right before Thanksgiving. I thought I came down with the flu. I had stomach aches, my body ached, I had extreme thirst. I was drinking fluids by the gallon, which was unreal. I drank even actually a half a gallon of milk. I could not quench my thirst, but then every time I was drinking, I was going to the bathroom constantly, like a water faucet that would not stop. My bladder hurt, my body ached, and I kept saying I'd get better, so I went and bought some cranberry juice. Thought maybe it was a UTI and maybe the flu together. And so I drank a bunch of cranberry juice, and it didn't work. I ended up collapsing on the floor, and a friend of mine, which was a roommate, had to call an ambulance, and I was rushed to the hospital. They took my symptoms at the hospital. I wasn't quite sure what was going on. The way that I felt, I had headaches, my body hurt, I had to go to the bathroom, but they weren't going to let me up. They tested my blood sugar there, and it was off the chart. They couldn't even read it on the monitor. They asked if I had any diabetes in my family history, and I told them no. Not as far as I knew, we had no diabetes. That was the day that changed my life forever. I was hospitalized for 7 days. What I'd like to start off with is that diabetes type 1, which is insulin dependent, you have to have insulin in your body in order to survive. It affects over 1 million people here in just the United States, which is actually only 5% of the total diabetes population. The other 95% is type 2 diabetes. Most of us in this room don't actually think about fingerprinting themselves or injecting themselves every single day with needles, like I do 3 or 4 times a day. You don't think about what you eat. When you think of diabetes, I think most people think sugar. They eat too much sugar and they're overweight. Sugar is not the cause of diabetes. What diabetes is that your body can get an infection. It can be hereditary. Most of the time it's usually an infection where your body attacks your pancreas, causing it not to produce any insulin, which you need that insulin in your body for glucose to give you the energy to make it through every single day. For us to become informed about diabetes, I'd like to address a few things that we need to understand. What is type 1 diabetes, adult onset? Give you a little bit of a background information, the complications that diabetes causes for a normal person, and then what we can do to help other people that we know have diabetes. A little bit of background information was the first diabetes that was actually known was back in the Egyptian time. And you can't read that, but the way that they did it was mentioning too much emptying of urine. Like I said, a water faucet that doesn't turn off. And then a crazy fact that you might not know about diabetes is back in the 1800s, they used to actually have testers that worked with the doctors back then that actually would drink people's urine to tell if it was sweet so that they can diagnose diabetes before they had the chemicals to be able to do that nowadays. These are the different things that you have now compared to the past. This was one of the first, if you look at that, it looks like one of those things you see off Star Trek, where it actually would put insulin into a person's body, and actually they would only use those at the doctor's offices. Those were not given to patients. Then they have the ones now where they can do the injection there. This is what I use. I use a pen where I inject myself. I used to use the needles with the vials, but this is the old syringe back. I'm thinking this was like the 1920s syringes that you used to use, which are kind of creepy looking. These are signs that everybody should be knowledgeable of they know anybody, family, friends, coworkers, fellow students, teachers. The signs of hypoglycemia, when your blood sugar is really low. In my case, I usually sweat. I start to sound like a drunk person. My speech becomes slurred. I get really shaky. I can't see. I can't concentrate. When you have low blood sugar, it's important to know these things so that you can help somebody that's there with you. They could drink orange juice. You can get them something to eat. You need something in sugar. People always think candy bars work. Candy bars do not. They don't bring the sugar up fast enough. You need pop, milk, or juice. Somebody that has hyperglycemia has over and above their sugar level, which can actually put you into a diabetic coma, which is what actually happened to me when I was diagnosed. You get stomach pains, irritability, very thirsty, and I am talking gallons and gallons of fluids. Then you have to urinate often. If you're around somebody that has these symptoms, honestly, the best thing would do is be able to call 911, because there's not much you can do unless they actually have some kind of insulin that they carry on them, and you're able to administer it, which most people are not able to know how to do that. These are some of the different products that they offer now for diabetes. This stuff is kind of hard to see, but it's a little liquid bottle that they offer even just at Walmart that brings up 15 grams of carbs that you need to have within 15 minutes of your sugar dropping, and then you wait 30 minutes and retest your blood sugar. Juices work the best. You can give them crackers if they're not too low.